So today I'm going to show you how to start your Photoshop self-portrait. I'm going to show you the dimensions of your canvas that you're going to use, how to create a blank canvas, and then how to import and move and erase backgrounds and things like that. So first of all, what you need to do is, if you haven't done it already, you need to have a folder made. Either you can make an art folder in here somewhere. If you already have one, that's great. Then you could put a subfolder in there. I have one titled Photoshop Self-Portrait, and I have pictures already loaded up onto that. So if you haven't done that, that would be a good place to start. Then you can start collecting pictures. I personally like pictures that I have taken myself. I like that. It's more personal to me. But I know that some of you won't have that, and that's fine. So what you do need to do, like I'm going to look up a background. Your background does not have to be a landscape. It could be, you could have yourself sitting on the edge of a flower petal. I don't care. You could be on top of the world out in outer space. Fantastic. You don't have to do that. So let's look at outer space. And then I'm going to click on here on images. And then I could do things like this. That'd be so cool. A galaxy would be awesome. Do you see the file size on here? And I think I told you about that earlier. That is not very big. And so if I want to blow up my self-portrait bigger than an 8.5 by 11, and I want to do the 16 by 20, this will not work very well. It will pixelate. You don't really want that one. And I can't cut out of that. I can't do any of that. So when I scroll over the top of these, I'm looking for, that's not too bad. So I'm looking for a pretty big file size. So don't save it from here. And JPEGs work really well for Photoshop. I'm going to click on that image, and hopefully it'll give me a bigger file size. And then I will save that image like that into my, and I like it kind of titled Outer Space. That might be easier to find when I'm working in Photoshop. So I'm going to save it in there. So I have a whole collection of images to use to start with. I can always go get more, and I probably won't use all of these. But having more is better than not enough. Okay? Then I want you to go ahead and open Photoshop. It takes a little bit. There's a lot of information that's being loaded into the program. If you haven't done this already, you might want to, when it shows up on your taskbar down here, if you will right click that, you should have a little, this show up. In mine, you should have something here that says Pin to Taskbar. That's a kind of a nice thing to have. It's so that it'll always just be right there at your access. The next thing you're going to do, you should have a screen that looks something like this. You're going to create new, and you're going to click on that. And I have a lot of canvases here because I've done a lot of work in here. So we're going to create a custom canvas for you. We're going to go over here, and we're going to highlight Untitled 1, and we're going to retitle it Self-Portrait. I do not want this in pixels. I want it in inches. So you're going to hit the scroll down menu and put inches. And then you're going to decide, do I want it to be portrait or landscape? And so that outer space image that I selected, I think lends itself more to a horizontal format. So the width of it, I'm going to put 20, and the height, I'm going to put 16. Make sure it says inches. So it will either be portrait like this. This will, if it was like this, it'd be 16 by 20. If it's like this, it's 20 by 16. Then I want to change the resolution. I want you to put 300 in there. That will allow us to blow it up and have a lot better resolution. And then go from 8-bit to 16. This is your background color. We're going to keep it white. And then the rest of it, I do not want you to even worry about. Leave it alone. So once it looks like this, then you can hit create. We hope. And it should configure it. And then you have a nice white sheet of paper, just like it was your sketchbook paper from up here that you get in, you know, your activity paper. And that's your background. Once you have that, oh, you may want to go up here. Go to Windows, because a lot of yours doesn't look like this when you do this. I want you to be able to see all of your layers over here. So I want you to go up to Window, come over here to Workspace, and then I would like you to go into the Photography Workspace. And what that's going to do for you is, when I go to Select, I'm going to go to File, Open. I'm going to select this outer space that I had. I can select more than one. I can click that, and then click that. Multiples at one time, that's fine. Since it's a self-portrait, I guess I better, let's do that. And I can open multiple pictures. If you label them correctly, like see how I labeled outer space, it's a lot easier to find. Because these up here, I don't really know which is which, if that makes sense. So you have your self-portrait here. It's a blank sheet of paper. We have outer space over here. If I want to crop this, I need to crop it before I put it onto my white paper. Because if I put it on my white paper and I go to the crop tool, it's going to crop everything out. So let's say cropping is this little tool here. I'm going to click that and it highlights it like this. And so maybe I'm just going to do something like that, and I took care of that. Hit the check mark. And now I'm ready to go back to self-portrait. There's my white paper. It still looks like it's going to crop it, doesn't it? You need to be on the right tool, the right layer to do the job. Because I have some kids that'll be erasing and like, it's not working, you're on the wrong layer. Check that other layer. I'm sure you just erased half of it off that layer. So the good thing is you can undo it. So this is the move tool, the little arrows. This allows me to pick one of my little pictures I've downloaded, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to hold it down with on my mouse. And then I'm going to drag it over here to my white paper, and I'm going to let it go. Then I'm going to go in here to the actual picture, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to drag it up here, and I'm going to drop it. And I'll say yes, yes, yes. If I've done a lot of work here and I'm going to get rid of this, I don't need it anymore, I'm going to get out. It's going to say, do you want to keep your changes? If I had done a lot of background erasing and things like that, I had done a lot of work to this, you need to save it. But I just cropped it. It's not that big of a deal, so I'm going to say no, I'm good. I can do that again real quick. But it's too small. What to do, what to do. This needs to be your mantra. You're going to do a lot of this. I need to make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to hit Transform. And I'm going to slide over here. And I'm going to hit Scale. And it's going to highlight it for me. Then I can drag my corners like this. I can move it around a little if I want, and I get a nice little spot. If it looks pixely, it's okay, because when I hit this little check mark, it clears up. We're good. Do you see how you have two layers over here? You're going to have layer, layer, layer. It is a self-portrait. So, where's this? Okay, there's my puppy, of course. There's moi. I need to probably be in that self-portrait. since the name of the assignment. But I don't want all of this around me. There's a couple of ways I can take that out. But I want to do it here before I move it on to here. It's easier. So this does exactly what it says it's going to do. Does that look like an eraser? If I right click it, there's a bunch of different kinds of erasers in there. It's pretty cool. This eraser, you can go up here, you can change the hardness of the eraser, you can change the size of the eraser, and it will just take out backgrounds. Goodbye. Goodbye. It's really cool. So you can do it that way. And then if I really want to get around stuff, I can control plus it. Oh, control plus. And you can really get in there and get close to, mine's kind of the fuzzy one. Okay, so we can play around with things like that. You can also click on that, and there's a magic eraser that just clicks off. Oh man, that's not too bad. You see that happen? And then when it has this on here, these little checkerboards, that means that it's a transparent background, which is cool. You can layer on top of anything. That's pretty nice. So I could take that all the way around like this. Oh, that does a really nice job. You will find that some tools work really good on some pictures and not that great on others, but that's not too bad. You can play with the tolerance. If it takes out too much, drop down the tolerance. If it doesn't take out enough, bump it up. So you can control all that stuff. It's really nice. So then I'm going to go to control minus. My hand looks a little weird. I just won't even worry about my hand. I don't have a hand. I'm just going to take that out. There you go. Bye-bye. And then that won't take that out, so I'm going to go back to my eraser and never happen. That's not too bad. You think I could probably crop that now? Probably. I think I could. I think I'll take and just get rid of that. Okay, that's not too bad. Then I can go back to my self-portrait. And then I can go to move. That's the move tool. I'm going to, which one was, see, I don't have them labeled, so I don't know which one I was working in. Oh, it was this one. So now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to click it, drag it, drop it, click it, drag it, drop it. If it doesn't do it the first time, do it again. You'll see a little window, like a little box, come up. And then our mantra is edit, transform, scale, and I am now in outer space. All right. I guess I'm digging it. Okay. That's one way that you can erase backgrounds from your images. If I want to look like I'm floating around in space, but you can see through me, if I'm on the right layer, do you see my layers are showing up? And it's highlighted, so I know that I'm on a picture of me. If I hit opacity, I can do this. Uh-oh. I'm just floating around in space. That's kind of cool. So you just go here and you play with the opacity. 100%. I'm gone. I'm back. All there. Okay. Another way to erase the background would be to, let's go to Puppy. We are going, because she has to go with me to outer space. The only place that she doesn't go with me is up here at school, and if I can get away with that, she comes on work days. So I want to take all of this out. I'm going to try this magic lasso tool. This is kind of fun. You click on that tool, right click it, make sure it's on the magnetic lasso, and then I'm going to start here and let that magnet select this for me all the way around my little puppy. And I have to bring it, even if it's a flat part like the photo is cut off, I still have to do that. And then I have to connect it, and then it looks like little marching ants all around it. So that's selected. I can hit select and mask. I'm going to hit OK. And there she is. Now I hit the move tool again. I got to move her on there. I'm going to go from here. I'm going to move her here. Here. I'm gonna, watch this. Grab it. Click her. And there she is.